Imagine spending months finding a role, going through a lot of networking, doing these resume updates, finding out about opportunities, interviewing, and finally getting that offer, being very excited about it, and starting your role. And you realized you're lost. You don't know what's happening. Your manager is not what he or she came across during the interview. You're getting minimal support. It's all day, every day, working 12 hours. Priorities get moved. In the morning, it's something else. By the time you deliver that, the priority has changed and it is utter confusion. You don't know who to turn to help with. You go to office every day confused, not knowing what's going to happen. And to add to, for some people, your manager is not only not being supportive, but also making snide remarks about whether you have been a good hire for them or not. How do you deal with this situation? Today, I'm going to cover 3 non-negotiables you need to have when you start working in a new role for the first 90 days at least. If you are lucky to get a very good onboarding process, very good, congratulations. And I hope you still make sure that these 3 things are in place. If you've got onboarding which is chaotic, they don't have time for it, they are always fighting fires, you are confused, then this video is definitely going to give you certain tools which will make your onboarding much easier. So let's jump into it, because I don't want you to spend so much time and effort to get a job only to be miserable in it, or worse, don't even clear the probation and you decide to quit. Hi, my name is Shubh Faujdar. I am a Singapore-based job search strategist and career coach and a former corporate recruiter. I also am a LinkedIn influencer, and you can follow me there for daily tips on career growth and job search. I also have launched my Instagram to build a community of job seekers, so don't forget to follow me there. I look forward to speaking with you in a more intimate setting. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel. I release 2 videos, one on Tuesday, which is less than 2 minutes, nano tip on anything related to your career growth and job search, and then a deep dive on Thursdays. So a lot of my clients got jobs in the last 3-4 months, and the market was picking up. Great news for them. But out of all these clients, 3 clients are struggling with the new role. When I say struggling, not so much as their capability, but they're not able to understand the culture, what's happening. All of them have either moved geography or industry or function. So it's all new. They have no support, and they're not getting as much face time as they needed from their manager or from anybody else in the organization. A lot of people are working from home some days a week, so they don't even get the full-on office, don't know who's the person they should be going out with. And it's all utter confusion. So I've been having conversation, and I typically spend my first month after they've got role to have check-ins with clients, and sometimes it goes beyond 1 month if they're struggling. And a common theme has been lack of clarity. And it could also boil down to lack of communication or misunderstanding on what the manager is saying, what they are doing. So I've been working very hard to brainstorm ideas with these clients to see how they can have better experience in their new roles. And I've come up with a framework of 3 things you absolutely need, not only from these clients, but also when I worked with clients who've had fantastic onboarding experience, who've had the ability to contribute as soon as possible without getting confused, regardless of moving geographies, moving industries, moving functions. I've used them as a sample of what you need to do in the first 90 days and beyond to have a great experience in a new role. Number 1 thing you need is a weekly check-in with your manager. Look, I know managers are busy. They have a lot of things on their plate. I was speaking to one of these clients of mine on, have you had your weekly check-in scheduled? And he goes blank and he's like, Actually, that's a good point. I've spoken to my direct manager 2, 3 times in the last 2.5 months, but I don't have a scheduled weekly one-on-one. And then I asked him in more detail, have you suggested, the manager has rejected, or what's happening? And he's like, actually, it may sound very basic, but I did not even think that I had the ability to do the weekly one-on-one. I thought it would be him proposing that let's do this, because he's always so busy. I did not want to make him think that I'm taking his time. So your weekly one-on-one are very important, and they actually help you to get in line with your manager. Everybody is confused. They don't know you. So have this weekly one-on-one. How do you do this? Look, I've just started. Could we put in a weekly one-on-one in the calendar? I do understand you're very busy on the weeks where it's absolutely not possible. We can just move it, but I want it there in the calendar. So when there's a chance, I get to speak to you, because one of the reasons I joined the organization was to learn from people in the industry, and I would love to learn more from you. So that's one way to get more face time with your manager. And in the next step, I'm going to talk to you about what to do when you don't have that one-to-one. And even if you have that one-to-one, how can you strategically make that one-to-one much better? So moving to the next step, which I promised, is Friday update emails. It is mind-boggling how few people do this. I think of in all my career as a career coach and through my work, and when people have been onboarded, I've just had 2 people, and I've helped thousands of people by this stage. I've just had 2 people say to me that they do this. So this is going to be such a game changer. If you haven't implemented it, just do it. Have a Friday update email schedule. So you say weekly update, your name in the subject line, and week of, say, February 24th. And just address it to your manager. Have the expectation that they don't need to reply for it. They don't want an additional task. So when you send these emails, sometimes managers say no because they feel they have to reply to these emails. But you have that expectation set in your weekly call or in a conversation, or put it at the first line that, hey, so-and-so, I just wanted to update you about my week and what I'm thinking of priorities for next week. We can discuss this during the weekly meeting we have scheduled on Monday and Tuesday. You do not need to reply to this email. And then you focus on 3 things there. Number 1, what have you done? What are your achievements for this week? What have you accomplished? Whatever you want to name it. What have been the tasks completed? 2 is what resources you need from them. What do you need to learn? Who you need to contact? 3rd is, what are your priorities for next week? Very simple. Now, they don't need to be in written prose, just very quick bullet points, something they can glance at and be updated. This is very, very important. And as I said, it's going to be an ultimate game changer for many reasons. Number 1, a lot of times I feel when you're not understanding what your manager is saying, it's lack of clarity. And that clarity could just be in the lack of communication styles of the 2 people. So that person may have all the clarity on what they want to achieve, but the way they are communicating, because, managers may not be very good at managing or leading teams. So you need to make sure that you are set up for success and their lack of leadership is not impacting your career. So when you write things down in black and white, it becomes much more objective. They know what you're working on. They see the whole thing. If there is a priority which doesn't align with what they want, they can absolutely speak to you about it in the weekly call. Number 2 thing it does is you are increasing your visibility. Your manager, if they are MIA a lot of times, don't know what all you're doing. So you are then putting it in front of them and increasing your visibility. Now, one of the clients who I was working with was hired by his manager's manager, and the team's restructured by the time he joined, and he's no longer speaking to the person who hired him. So what we came across is, okay, we have this weekly thing with the manager and monthly update where the manager is there and the person who hired him is also there. So everybody is up to date because, well, there are a lot of roadblocks to communicating directly with the boss's boss in his organization. So you could think of that, and he can use it right now because he was hired by someone else. So your Friday update email is very, very important. I think it just sets the whole tone. It also gives you an objective view of what's happening, where you're getting stuck. If you don't know what your priority is for next week, then it's a conversation to have in the weekly meeting. If you don't know what you've accomplished this week, then again, you need to speak to your manager. And I like to do this in an email format because your weekly conversation should not be about update. All this update you've already provided to them. The weekly conversation need to be a little bit more strategic, a little bit of understanding what your manager's biggest pain point is, so you can then help. If it's all about what I did last week and what I want to do this week, you're not making the best use of your weekly meeting. And very soon they'll stop having that call with you. So the Friday update email takes all these administrative tasks away. It helps you to focus on what's important to them, why, how you can contribute, and get the big picture. And the last thing you absolutely need to have is who are the most important stakeholders for you. Not only your manager, your teammates, but people outside. Who are the other team leaders you should be talking to? Now, I've seen for one of my clients, his manager came up with a list of 25 people he should be talking to in the first 3 months, and these are very critical. Most managers don't do it. So you need to ask these questions from your manager and also with the other critical stakeholders who you meet on a regular basis. Keep on asking them, who else should I be talking to? This will help you to build your visibility across the organization than just be limited in the team you are part of. This will help you to understand the bigger organization pain points, culture way better than just doing your work. And when you have this list of 25 to 30 people, make sure that you speak to all of them by the end of your first 90 days or 6 months. If you are at a senior position, senior people sometimes take a while to start giving their appointments. So these three, according to me, are the most important thing you should be doing for your career and for settling well in a new job. I hope it helps somebody out there who may not be having the best experience when they start a new role. All the best, you can do it. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. Follow me on LinkedIn and Instagram. See you there. Bye.